Hey everybody. Today I'm just gonna I'm gonna give you an update on how things are going with my period, and I'm gonna also talk about what I found out was the issue for why I was having debilitating periods, when I found out, what I was doing about it, and yeah. To fully understand everything I go through on my period, you have to watch this other video that I'm going to link in the description box and in the comments or whatever, because there's a lot. Basically, to kind of say it all really, really quickly, my periods were debilitating. They made me pass out. They made me throw up. They gave me diarrhea, and I would bleed very heavily on. And all this would just be on the first and second day. Um, First day was like when everything was happening, and then the second day was kind of like being in recovery mode from everything that happened. And then the next 4 days of my period were like I wasn't even on my period. Um, so yeah. And I've had a child now. I've given birth. I had an unmedicated vaginal birth. And so now I can definitively say that my periods were worse than childbirth and being in labor. So basically, if you've had an unmedicated vaginal birth and you've felt that pain of those final contractions right before it's time to get ready to start pushing, that's basically what the first day of my period was like. It was that level of pain, but the difference was that the contractions, because I did get like it would come like contractions. The contractions felt like they were only about 15 seconds apart at the most. And also, I was experiencing pain the entire time, even when I wasn't having a contraction. So it wasn't like when you're in labor and you have a contraction and it like kind of builds up and then it goes away and then you feel like a normal person until the next contraction. Yeah, it wasn't like that. It was this pain that would just radiate from my abdomen into my thighs, into my ass, into my lower back, and just throughout my entire body. Like I said, it would be so painful that it would make me pass out. And all I would do on that first day is just roll around in pain all day, throwing up into a plastic bag. Um, yeah, it was bad. I couldn't move. So I don't eat, I don't pee, I don't shower, I don't brush my teeth, I don't do anything for that whole first 24 hours of my period. So that's how that was. Now, back in 2016, I went to the doctor to get a transvaginal ultrasound because I wanted them to look for fibroids, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, like anything that could possibly be causing these issues for me. Fibroids do run in my family. My maternal grandmother and aunts, as well as my mom, all had them. So I figured that that's what it was. But according to them, their fibroids didn't get to the size where they were actually painful until they were, well into their late 30s. So it kind of just didn't sound like what I was going through. I also didn't believe that I had endometriosis because I also knew women who had endo, and the way they described having it didn't sound anything like my situation. Yes, they experienced pain, but it wasn't only on the first day of their period. It was pretty much throughout their entire cycle, and they also had other symptoms that I did not have, including, the irregular periods and like pain during sex and stuff like that. Um, I really also didn't think I had PCOS just because those symptoms really didn't line up with mine as well. Really, the only symptoms I'm having that any of these illnesses have is just debilitating pain. But like I said, mine is only on the first day of my period, so it's like I don't know what's going on. So I went and had the ultrasound. They mailed me a letter when they got the results, and all it said was normal pelvic anatomy. That's it. As in, there's nothing wrong with you. you're just experiencing this debilitating pain for whatever reason. So yeah, I didn't really get any answers from that. As the years went on, between 2016 and 2021, I continue to have debilitating periods every single month. I tried a number of natural remedies because pain medication has never worked for me. And I would literally just throw it up. I started trying natural preventative remedies so that I didn't even have to experience cramps, because once they start, there's no solution for the pain. Like, nothing is going to stop that pain. So I was looking at remedies that could prevent the pain from even occurring in the first place. So I'll have a list of that stuff as well, and I have many videos going over like how those things work for me or did not work for me that I will also link in the description box. Trying to make this quick because I know people complain about how much I talk when it comes to this topic. But anywho, so in 2021 I got pregnant, and I actually went back to the hospital where I was born, and the hospital we always went to when I was a kid. And that was a hospital where I had gotten my transvaginal ultrasound. So I went back, they have my chart now, so you can look at everything, like all of your test results and like blood work you had done and everything. So I was like, I'm gonna go and look at the results from my ultrasound from 5 years ago. So I did that, and of course they have everything in all this enormous detail. It's not just normal pelvic anatomy. No, they have the length of my uterus, which was long for some reason. So they had the length of my uterus. They had each ovary and like the details of each ovary and like all kinds of shit. So I see next to both of my ovaries the words polycystic. So I'm already thinking like, why the fuck did they not tell me that I have PCOS? So I end up having to talk to a midwife when I'm about to go into the emergency room, because I had kind of a little scare while I was pregnant. I thought I might be experiencing miscarriage because I was having some spotting. So while I was talking to her on the phone before going into the emergency room, I brought up the fact that I saw that, and I was questioning like, why didn't they tell me I have PCOS? And she informed me that I was not diagnosed with PCOS, and actually having polycystic ovaries without having PCOS is very, very common. According to her, it only becomes PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, when you also have the accompanying hormonal issues. So like basically things like irregular or very, very long lasting periods, or periods that like never come. If you have like excessive facial hair growth, excessive weight gain that you cannot control, like no matter what you do, stuff like that is when you have the actual syndrome. But when you just have polycystic ovaries, you just have polycystic ovaries. So that was my issue. And she also informed me that every time my body releases an egg, the cysts have the potential to rupture, and that is what was happening to me almost every month. I say almost every month because it was like 95% of the time, but of course, as you guys know, there were those random months where I didn't feel any pain at all. And I thought my remedies were working, but they weren't. It was just that the cyst didn't rupture. My mom, I remember her telling me that she thought she had an ovarian cyst one time. She talked to the doctor about it, and they were telling her, oh no, you would never, because that kind of pain is a pain that you have never experienced in your life. And I'm telling her, like, that shit is true. It is the worst pain I have ever felt. Once again, coming from somebody who had an unmedicated childbirth, okay? And a 3rd degree too. But yes, this pain is like no other. When I say it radiates throughout your entire body from the center, I mean that shit. So that is what my issue was. So I really recommend anybody and there were hundreds and hundreds of people who commented talking about having the same kind of pain and symptoms that I experienced. Oh shit. This bird just cried. This fucking bird just climbed up on the window sill scared the shit out of me. Okay, baby. I hate birds. Okay. Like I was saying, I really recommend that if you were or are one of those people experiencing these kind of symptoms during your cycle or your period or whatever, get a transvaginal ultrasound. Make sure you ask afterwards when you get the results if your ovaries were polycystic. Now, the bad thing about it, like it was great to finally find out what was wrong with me, but the bad thing about it is that she said there's nothing I can do about it but try to manage the pain. So basically, until I'm done having kids, because I want to have more kids, until I'm done having kids and I'm able to just get stuff removed, I just had to figure out what I could do to manage the pain. And I have been doing that for the past 5 years and it just wasn't happening. So that was kind of terrifying. But then, of course, I was pregnant. So you probably heard that after pregnancy, a lot of people experience their periods being changed in a lot of different ways. And usually people who had really, really painful or heavy periods or both, they usually don't have any pain. Or they just have normal periods from now on after they give birth. So I was really, really hopeful about that, but of course I didn't know for sure if that was gonna happen for me. So now we're gonna fast forward to November 28th, I gave birth. 10 weeks postpartum, I got my first period. So my first period, everyone was terrifying me. They were saying that the first period is the worst. It's like crazy painful and super heavy and it lasts forever. Okay, my first period was exactly like all of my normal periods. My normal period is 6 days long. It's really like light on the first day, heavy on the second and third day, kind of medium flow on the fourth day, and then fifth and sixth day is basically spotted. And so it was exactly that same way, except it was completely painless. I didn't even see it coming. The whole time I was on it, I didn't feel a thing. Like I felt that feeling like that you feel kind of sort of in your uterus when you're on your period, like you just feel that you're menstruating and your body is doing something, but I didn't feel any pain whatsoever. It was amazing. Since then I've gone on to have 3 more periods. Yeah, because the first one was in February, March, April, and I had May. So yeah, I have 4 periods in total. They're not completely painless anymore, but they're normal periods. The cramps are very, very mild. They're not painful. They're just really annoying sometimes. But once again, like I don't have those symptoms beforehand. Like before, I would feel my period coming from a mile away because I would be cramping a week in advance, like having like normal period cramps when I'm not even bleeding yet. Now I don't feel anything leading up to my period. I don't have any spotting beforehand. I don't have like that dark brown before I start bleeding. The day it comes, I bleed and I feel normal. I just drink some water and I'm good. The flow, I will say, is a little bit heavier. It's like back to how it was when I first started getting periods as a teenager. So back then my periods were 7 days long and it was like a heavy flow for most of it. So the flow is heavier in the first few days, but I'll take that over that pain. Like honestly, I really don't care about the flow as long as it's not like, extreme, like deadly type bleeding, or like, cause it's still like lighter than the second and third day that I used to have on my period. So yeah, it's just phenomenal. And I'm just gonna keep the faith that it's gonna continue to happen like this. I feel like I've been so blessed because man, it's like a life-changing experience when you go from those kind of periods to having normal ones, because it like that kind of cycle really destroys your quality of life and your health, and your body feel like it's just deteriorating every single month that you go through it. Like I'm used to throwing up every month. Like I would just throw up all day over and over and over. So it's just like now I can, not only can I be up and out of bed, I can walk around, but I feel like I'm in a good mood. I can eat food, I can shower. Like, it's crazy how normal that is for other people. So they're like, okay, big whoop, but you don't understand. Like, I could not do that for so long. So yes, things are still going well. Like I said, I just had my fourth period last month since giving birth, and everything is still all good. So we're just staying hopeful. Like I said, if there's anybody out there who experiences what I experienced, please, please, please go and get a transvaginal ultrasound and make sure you find out that you don't have polycystic ovaries. Just rule it out, because like I said, for me, I felt like like everything had been ruled out. And just to come and find out that you don't actually have PCOS, but you can still have polycystic ovaries even without that. So a lot of people are still looking for answers. So you never know, your situation could be the same as mine. So just go find out. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope anybody who's suffering really finds the solution to their issue. And if all else fails, just have a baby like I did. No, just went. I didn't have a baby to get rid of my period problems, I swear. But yeah, good luck, guys. Let me know what happens. Comment what you think about my situation and if it sounds similar to yours. And I'll talk to you guys sometime later this month. I haven't gotten my June period yet, but when I get it, I'll talk to you guys. All right, bye.